What's up guys, Clinter here, and Legends just released the Super 17 kit on the website, so we'll be taking a quick look at it. Again, this won't paint the full picture, but we should get an indicator of how he'll work and the main mechanics he's centered around. So, as you can see, a lot of yellow text which I'll be skipping through and mostly focusing on the kit itself. So, pretty much, let's just go through the strengths first. Powerful effects activated by absorbing ki blasts, vanishing gauge, recovery, and also reducing the enemy vanishing gauge to 0. Going to be quite useful with dealing with UI. Strong offense via blast art, so it seems like he'll be a range type. And yeah, okay, so yeah, as it said in the in-game news, he's going to be red, and that's about it. So let's get into it. Main ability: randomly destroys one of your own cards and draws the ultimate arts. Flash Bomber restores own health by 30%, ki by 50, pretty standard. Inflicts all enemies with plus 20% to damage received for 50 timer counts. Okay, quite a bit, especially if the enemy is susceptible to attribute downgrades. It's going to be quite useful. And reducing card draw. Interesting to toss that on the main, but might be useful. Applies the following effects to self according to the number of remaining enemy battle members. So 3 members, 30% sustained damage cut pen, 2 members 40%, 1 member 70%. Okay. Not the craziest main, but it has some attributes that can be useful. We'll get an idea of how much damage it deals, the alt deals, once we go to the card itself. So Z ability, blast attack and strike defense, the GT, Android, and powerful opponent. Okay, quite a broad range, as well as 18% to blast defense when maxed out. Decent. Alright, the strike, 10% to damage received, useful. The blast armor pen, or the extra damage when going through blast armor, is very handy, so 170% is definitely good. Special move, massive impact damage, restores ki by 30 on activation, as well as seals a card for 10 timer counts. Yep, that can be useful as well. Not particularly the most damaging special move, but has some utility. Following effects occur on hit, draws a special arts card, quite nice, and sub counts, 3 sub counts. And it's a melee blue. Okay, so the melee blue, of course, isn't the greatest against UI, but the sub counts can be helpful. Special: absorbs enemy ki blasts, as we know from the trailer. Nullifies unfavorable elements. Okay, this can be quite good, because you'll probably want to chain the alt off of this, or just anything, because you lock in for 3 timer counts, as it's given at the bottom there. But let's just continue. Reduces enemy ki by 50, seals all main abilities for 5 counts, pretty good. Seals rush as well. Okay, that is crazy, because if you think about it, you get this off, the enemy has no banish gauge, you have your gauge. The only real counterattack that was possible from the enemy side is a counter rush. But since they can't do that either, the only real counterplay to this is just YOLOing a ranged blue card as the enemy, of course, and if 17 dodges, you're just rushed or dead, essentially. So, quite crazy. Following effects occur when absorption is successful. We know the vanishing gauge deal, 100% to own unique gauge charge rate. Okay, it's fairly good. So he does have a unique gauge, 50% to blast arts damage for 10 counts. Okay, and yep, the switching and gauge removal. Yeah, that green card is insane if you get it off. Yeah. Coming to the ultimates, ultimate arts, massive impact. Following effects occur upon activation, so he gets 30 ki back. That can be handy. Nullifies endurance. Also applies the following effects to self according to number of remaining enemy battle members. So similar with his main ability giving cut pen, it gets stronger as the enemy members go down. So you ideally want to save this as like a finishing move. Following effects occur in hit. Special arts card again, alright, pretty good. And AoE damage, so yeah, this can really destroy a team if used at the right time. And blast armor, which is pretty standard. So moving on to the unique abilities. 100% damage inflicted, 70% reduction, card draw speed, and cost reduction on the blast special move and ultimate. So very good start there. Pretty solid. Applies the following effects itself when this character enters the battlefield. He gets key, more damage, 90%. It's quite high. And 400% to amount unique gauge is charged by the next arts card used. Okay. So we have to see exactly how much a unique gauge is charged with each arts, but 400% is a 4 times multiplier, so it can be quite useful getting the gauge quickly. So he gets this every time a blast arts is used, restores ki by 10, 15% special move damage. Okay, there we go. So we were missing the special move damage on the card itself, but here's where he gets it. So that's up to 45%, quite good. And he gets permanent increase to ki recovery up to 80%. So he's not going to be lacking that department. Following effects occur upon landing a blast arts. Seals enemy card slot randomly and cannot be used for 10 counts. As well as reducing health restore by 80%. Wow, okay, that is very strong because it's not restricted. So you can, if you have a full hand of blast arts, you can legitimately seal the entire opponent's hand, which, yeah, can be very annoying. Alright. The following effects occur upon landing a tap attack, third attack, tap shot, or quick attack. Alright. Plus 50% on unique gauge charge rate, seals enemy strike and special move arts. Sealed arts cannot be used for 2-timer counts. Okay, a lot of sealing going on. Yeah, he's looking very good just from that first unique ability. Not only good, but also annoying. Alright, so moving into the second unique ability. He does have the cover change against strike arts, which is comboable with the special and ultimate. Okay. And yeah, you draw that ultimate, so this is a key factor. Randomly destroys one of your arts, your cards, and draws the ultimate arts, which is very good. Charges own unique gauge every time. Okay, so it says charges, not slightly charges. And he has several ways of increasing his charge rate, so getting the unique gauge is probably not going to be very difficult at all. Once the unique gauge is full, it resets to 0, and the following occurs. Okay, so it's a refillable unique gauge, just like, you know, Blue Beast or any of those characters. And he draws a blast arts on it. Very good. Restores health by 10 and ki by 40. Okay, so once this guy gets all his charge rate buffs, or most of them, he's going to be healing a lot and comboing a lot. And yeah, that's the one thing I was looking for. If you look right down there, applies buff effects, nullifies enemy special cover. So this guy can potentially just go on a rampage. And he does get damage inflicted for 50 timer counts, which cannot be cancelled. Alright. And that's stackable, by the way. 25% each time you fill the unique gauge. Alright. And he has Dragon Ball reduction too. Okay. He's looking quite ridiculous at this point. Following effects occur every time the enemy uses an arts card while this character is on the battlefield. Randomly draws at most 3 new cards. Okay. Wow. Alright. Restores on health by 3%. And plus 2 to all card arts cost. So he does have some kind of just maintenance or slash disruption. So you can just tank, essentially. Alright, the following effects occur when enemy switches characters while this character is on the battlefield. Draws a blast arts card next. Restores own ki by 30. Nullifies own unfavorable elements. Okay, this guy has everything in multiple ways. He's getting nullify element factor here and on his green card, and just a bunch of tools to continue the onslaught. And canceling. Okay, he cancels enemy buff effects every time the enemy uses a special move arts while this character is on the battlefield. That is great against you-know-who. The one and only Beast Gohan. So it's going to be very important. And not only Beast. Bardock and Goku's blue card does a lot of damage too, although the newer characters don't have as many buffs that can be cancelled, but it's still going to be handy. And finally, the following effects occur when enemy activates an Ultimate Arts, Awakened Arts, or Rising Rush. Shardens ally subcount by 5, and minus 50%, alright, as well as cancelling enemy buffs. So this is pretty much just Ultra Instinct again. So it's going to be very important just nerfing any ultimate arts. And of course, he has protection, or some protection against subcon, against the rush, my bad, by reducing subcon. So when combined with possibly other characters on the Android team, he can be very potent. And since he is blast based, he's going to be a great addition to the Android team. And of course, GT is going to need the buff as well. With Spirit Bomb Goku leaning towards the blast arts side, you can definitely make it work. So coming back to it, you can see the Vegeta and Bulla in the teaser as well. Now they are purple, so it's going to be a little tricky for them. They're going to have a lot of neutral mechanics to manage in the meta, of course because of the most dominant character right now. But 17 looks absolutely busted, and we can possibly make it work even with a purple character since 17 is red. So that's about it. We got a good indicator of how he's going to perform. Let's see how he does in game tomorrow.